Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's sports podcast. It's Friday, the 17th of December 2021, and this is probably going to be the last podcast of the year. Maybe one on the 31st, actually, I haven't decided yet, but it probably isn't going to be one next Friday on Christmas Eve. So I'd like to take this opportunity now to wish all my viewers, listeners, followers, anybody who's interested in what I do here, a very Merry Christmas, and hope Santa brings you everything you hope for. So without further ado, let's get on with the latest news, and we'll start with the Champions League draw, which turned out to be a bit of a farce, to be honest with you. After an error putting the balls in the right pots meant it had all to be redrawn. This benefited some teams and didn't benefit other teams, perhaps you would argue. The only constant was that Chelsea got Lille in both draws. Anyway, I'll just run through the draw. PSG will be playing Real Madrid. Sporting Lisbon will be playing Manchester City. Red Bull Salzburg will be playing Bayern Munich. Inter Milan will play Liverpool. Liverpool had got Salzburg originally, so they won't be too pleased about that. But then again, Inter, it could have been worse. It could have been PSG. Like I say, Chelsea drawn Lille. Villarreal will be playing Juventus. Atletico Madrid will play Manchester United. Manchester United got lucky there because they got PSG originally, so they'll feel they've got a benefit out of that one, probably. And Benfica will play Ajax. They're the teams that have drawn each other in the Champions League. So those games are played over 4 separate midweeks, starting on the 15th of February next year. The first legs are played on the weeks 15th and 16th and 22nd and 23rd of February. And then the second legs are played in March. And they're going to be played on the midweeks of 8th and 9th of March and 15th and 16th of March. So that's where you are with the Champions League. In terms of the other European competitions, it's a bit more complicated because of the fact we have playoff draws this time because of the Europa Conference League. But in the Europa League, in February, Rangers have been drawn to play against Dortmund. That's in the playoff round to get through to the next round, the draw for which will be the following week. The first that game on the 17th is the first of two legs. Dortmund play Rangers on the 17th of February, and a return leg will be in Glasgow the following week, the 24th. Then the draw for the next round is on the 25th, and that's when West Ham come back into the draw. They've managed to win their group. They go straight through to the next stage of the competition. The one real interesting tie in that playoff round, apart from Dortmund and Rangers, is that Barcelona have drawn Napoli, so that's quite a big game for that stage of the competition. Also, the other one to mention, probably, or two to mention, are Porto and Lazio, and Red Bull Leipzig and Real Sociedad. So they're the big games in the playoff round of the Europa League. And then just a quick look at the Conference League, Europa Conference League draw. And basically Tottenham have had to forfeit their game against Rennes. So that's a problem you've got there with that game. So they now have to play a Conference League playoff game, and they're playing Vitesse Arnhem. And if they beat Vitesse Arnhem, they're playing Rapid Vienna in the round afterwards. So they've got to play Vitesse first, and then they've got Rapid Vienna to come. With regards to the actual playoffs in the Europa Conference League, Leicester have been drawn against the Danish side of Randers. So you'd like to think they'd beat them. And then we've also got Celtic in that competition as well, and Celtic have been drawn to play Bodo Glimt from Norway. Sounds like their team. That sounds like a character from Lord of the Rings or something like that. But anyway, that's who they're playing. So that's where we are with the Conference League, and then they'll have to go into the playoffs after those rounds as well to go to the next stage of that as well. So I'll keep you updated near the time. But those competitions are now on the back burner until sort of like February anyway. Now, moving away from the European football scene, we're going to come back to the British scene and to the English game, and we're having disruption again, unfortunately, at the moment due to COVID. We had 3 games cancelled during the midweek fixture rounds that we just had, and then we've already got 5 games off this weekend. There's rumours that the games may all be cancelled eventually. We'll see what happens with that, but based on what happened in midweek, Manchester City and Liverpool have sort of like built up a bit of a head of steam now, and Chelsea have started to stutter a little bit. They only managed to draw at home to Everton last night, 1-1. They won the previous game, but the one before that they lost to West Ham. West Ham lost at Arsenal on Wednesday night. Arsenal are now up to 4th and head of West Ham. They beat them 2-0. Slightly controversial decision in that game was to send Soufal off after a follow through on Lacazette. He got the ball first, he followed through on Lacazette. My personal opinion was it wasn't a penalty, but anything that's like deemed to be slightly contentious or may slightly endanger a player's fingernails is now going to be a penalty, and it was also a sending off. Lacazette made a massive meal like he does. He tends to roll around and scream on the floor. Unfortunately, that's one of he's a great player, but he does make that. That's one of the side of the game that I don't like about him. So they're up to 4 for Arsenal now. But Man City, they beat Leeds 7-0. Leeds struggling a little bit at the moment, to say the least. Struggling with injuries, and they believe they've got COVID cases as well. Liverpool, again, going well at the moment. Newcastle shocked them by taking early lead with a really good finish by John Joe Shelby last night, but they eventually lost 3-1. Another good performance from Mo Salah, and a fantastic goal at the end by Trent Alexander-Arnold. 3-1 to Liverpool there. So they're on the heels of Man City. Have got 41, Liverpool 40, Chelsea are on 37. Arsenal then a gap 8 points to Arsenal 29. Manchester United's game at Brentford was called off. Tottenham's game at Leicester was also off. Wolves won at Brighton. They're up to 8th now. Villa won at Norwich 2-0, so up to 10th. They were 9th briefly until Wolves' victory. Leicester's game against Tottenham was off, so they didn't play. That was the game called off last night. At the bottom end, Norwich, obviously I've mentioned, lost to Villa. They're still bottom. Newcastle lost at Liverpool. Burnley didn't play their game against Watford, was called off as well. So, and like I say, this weekend coming, 5 matches have already been called off. The matches that remain at the moment are Aston Villa against Burnley, Leeds against Arsenal. They're both tomorrow. Leeds Arsenal's on Sky, 5:30. Sunday, we've got 2 o'clock kick-off, Wolves and Chelsea. 2:15 is Newcastle and Man City, that's on Sky. And the main game is 4:30 as it stands, Tottenham against Liverpool at 4:30, like I say. They're the games that remain this weekend, but that may well change again. Eddie Howe, when questioned last night in his press conference, said he'd like to see all the games called off rather than see half the games missing. I think it's cost. Well, he may have his own agenda there, because the less games that are played now gives Newcastle more chance of buying players to get them up from the bottom of the table and out of relegation. But whether that may be just be having a conspiracy theory against Newcastle, but who knows? But I'm not sure they're going to get out anyway. And what players they buy, who's going to go to Newcastle in January? I mean, January transfers aren't always the best anyway, so but they need something. So that's where we are with the Premier League at the moment, and obviously the next round of games are on Boxing Day. The highlight of that at the moment as it stands, Liverpool against Leeds, the dinner time game, BT Sport, 12:30 kick-off Boxing Day. So that's something to look forward to. There's a full round of fixtures on that day. Villa play Chelsea as well at 5:30, and I believe that's on the TV as well. And we've got 8 o'clock games, and I think that's Newcastle and Manchester United. So they're the games on Boxing. That's on the 27th. Sorry, is that one? The 8 o'clock game on the Boxing Day is Brighton against Brentford. Newcastle and Manchester United, just to reiterate, is Monday the 27th. That's in that round of games. Then we start the next round of games straight away on the 28th, but we'll come on to that if we can. I can't fit it all in at the moment, so but the highlights of the next round, the first game is going to be Arsenal against Wolves at 12:30 on the Tuesday the 28th, and they've got big games for Leicester Liverpool at 8 o'clock on the Tuesday the 28th, and the tea time game is Leeds against Villa, and these games are, I believe, are on on Amazon Prime. So you need Amazon Prime subscription or some kind of free access to that if you want to watch that round of games. But that's well away. That's a long way in the future, it seems now. But that's what's going on, and again, all that could change depending on what's happened with the COVID situation. So just keep your eyes on what's going on in the press, is the best thing I can suggest at this point. Moving away from the Premier League, look at the National League now, in Halifax Town. Another good victory last weekend. On Tuesday, should I say. Well, it was a good win on the weekend because they beat Wealdstone 1-0 away with a penalty by Matthew Warburton. But they also had a 2-0 win at home to Kings Lynn on Tuesday night, so they're now up to 2nd place in the league. Joint top, if you want to look at it more positively. Level on points for Chesterfield, who have a game in hand. We're both on 39 points, and we play Chesterfield a week on Tuesday, is that right? Yeah, a week on Tuesday, 28th. We've got Grimsby at home on Boxing Day. Grimsby have now sold their allocation of 1,200 tickets, they were saying the other day. But they're obviously looking to go up as well. They're at 8th at the moment. But Chesterfield 39, Halifax on 39, Boreham Wood on 38. Chesterfield and Boreham Wood are the two teams with a game in hand on town. But other than that, all the other teams have played the same or more. So in fourth place, we've got Bromley on 37, Wrexham 36, Solihull 36. Both them two have played one game more. Notts County 35, and then you've got a little gap to Grimsby on 32, Yeovil 31, and Stockport down in a lowly 10th place on 30 points. So very open at the top, very tight to points wise. 4 points between the top 7 teams. So there's lots to play for there. We're coming up to a very busy period of years. The Town, like I say, at home to Grimsby on Boxing Day, and they've got Chesterfield away on the 28th, Tuesday the 28th, and then it's Grimsby away on Monday the 3rd of January on BT Sport Live. So plenty of action to look forward there to for the Shaman. Tomorrow, I'm expecting to go to the game at Bradford Park Avenue in the FA Trophy. So FA Trophy weekend this weekend. So a break from league action. Like to think they'll perform better than they did in the game against Kidderminster. Wild says they are taking it seriously. I would like to see some of the other players, the fringe players, get a chance. Maybe Jamie Cook will get a game, and the reserve goalkeeper will also get a game, and also give a chance to some of the players that have been on the bench, like Luke Summerfield, and also Martin Woods, to get a full game, get a start in. That'd be nice, and maybe Jack Vale as well, to be honest with you. So we've scored the second goal on Tuesday night. So should be a good game tomorrow, hopefully. It's only £10 to get in, and if you go on the train, it's only £3.80 to return to Lower Moor. So something to consider if you were in two minds, or think about maybe finding something to do tomorrow afternoon. Go and watch FC Halifax Town at Horsefall Stadium against Bradford Park Avenue. Okay, we're going to move away from that now and talk about cricket if we have to. Unfortunately, England's performance in Australia haven't been so good so far. I've got it on at the moment in the background. And it's not going well, I've got to say. Australia have been piling on the runs in the second test already, and it's not for going well for England. There've been a lot of drop catches. They've declared now of Australia 473 for 9. I just looked away from the screen, I saw the adverts were on. They've just absolutely smashed it around Park and sort of like got a 60-70 run partnership between Nisa and Stark. Eventually Nisa was out for 35. Stark was still at 39. Jai Richardson were bowled for 9 by Wokes. Stokes and Wokes got absolutely trundled around Park at the end there. They both got a wicket each, but it cost a lot of runs, I've got to say. That partnership between Nisa and Stark was 58, and then he managed 25 between Stark and Jai Richardson. Players who I don't even really consider be able to bat at all, really. Nisa, I've seen his name in T20 and stuff like that, but to get 35 or 24 balls batting as number 9 is shocking, really. So, but that's the way it is. So 473 for 9 this second test. England to come out to bat now for probably an hour or so. It's got to try and hang in there. It's going to be difficult. We lost the toss, pink ball game. Australia have never lost a day-night match in Australia, I don't think, and England have won an away one. So, in fact, I'm not sure if Australia have ever lost a day-night test. So it's not going well. Obviously, David Warner got 93, I think it was 94, 95 even. Smith got 93, Labuschagne got 103. So those three really hammered England. They're at Marcus Harris 3, Cameron Green 2. They're the weak links, but there need to be some weak links, otherwise they'd have scored even more. It's looking grim, to be fair. We're going to be 2-0 down more certainly after the second test. I'm not sure this tour should have taken place. There was lots of arguments about whether it was going to go ahead or not. And the preparation was massively disrupted. They haven't played any warm-up games or haven't. It's rained all the way through them. When they batted first in the first test, it might have been argued that he shouldn't have chosen to bat, shouldn't Joe Root. But the conditions weren't good. It rained again. Then the sun came out in Australia bad. So it's just all gone against them. I don't know. But it's just, they just seem to be lacking confidence. It just doesn't seem to be right, this series. It's been played for the sake of it, perhaps. Just because it's got to be good, it's the Ashes, but it's not going well for England. We could go on forever about this, but it's not well. Anyway, that's the end of the cricket. We're not talking anymore about that. We'll talk about NFL now, I think. And looking at where we are, it's game week 15 this week. We've already had one game. The Chiefs beat the Chargers in overtime last night by 34 points to 28. We're at the stage of the season now where we have Saturday night games as well. So the Browns take on the Raiders, 9:30 UK time. And then the early morning of Saturday night football, it'll be called this week, the Colts take on the Patriots. Patriots on a 7-game winning streak at the moment. Looking at the tables, the teams that are going well at the moment, well, the Bucks have brought their form round. They've won the last 4 matches. They're a winning streak of 4 consecutive wins in the NFC. In the AFC, the Patriots have now won 7 on the bounce, and the Dolphins have won 5 on the bounce as well, so they're in good form. The Chiefs have also won 7 on the bounce now after last night's results, and they're the teams that are in form at the moment, so they're ones to look out for as we go forward to these last 3 or 4 weeks now. The rest of this week, 15 games are on Sunday. We start with Steelers playing the Titans, Bills and Panthers. We've got the Eagles against Washington football team. The Jags, who are having a really poor season, play the Texans. Giants take on the Cowboys. Lions face the Cardinals. Dolphins face the Jets. And then you've got the Broncos against the Bengals. You've got the 49ers against the Falcons. And then later on in the evening, you've got the Rams and the Seahawks, and the Ravens and the Packers. Then the Sunday night football game, the Bucks take on the Saints, and then the Monday night football, the Bears take on the Vikings. And after that round of games, we're on to week 16. Some of the games are played. Obviously, we have the Thursday night football, and that's the Titans against the 49ers. Then you've got the Christmas Day games. You've got Packers and Browns, 9:30 p.m. our time, Christmas Day night, and you've got the Saturday night football game, which is the Cardinals against the Colts, and then we go to the normal Sunday round of fixtures in week 16. So we're getting to the really sharp end now. We've obviously got 2 more rounds after that on the weekend of the 2nd, and then and 3rd, and the 9th and 10th of January, and then we're into the playoff games as we head towards the Super Bowl. And we've got the wild card games on the 15th and 16th. And then we've got the divisional finals on the 22nd and 23rd. And then they've got the conference championship finals on the 30th. And the Super Bowl itself is on the 13th of February this year, which is late. And we've got obviously they're punctuated by the Pro Bowl All-Star game between the NFC and AFC. That's on the 6th of February. But yeah, the Super Bowl's on the 13th of February, which is the latest I can remember it being, to be honest with you, in recent times, if ever. So if anybody knows better than me, they can correct me on that, because I don't profess to know a massive amount about NFL over the years. But that's where we are with the NFL at the moment. So if you're going to watch a game this weekend, enjoy it. Okay, just going to talk about a couple of little things before we go. The climax, or should I say the anti-climax to the Formula 1 season on Sunday. I've got to say congratulations to Max Verstappen. It's not his fault, but he's the world champion. He won it because he basically scored more points than Lewis Hamilton over the season. The last race was full of controversy, strange situation. Don't really want to go into politics here, but for Hamilton to have led for all but 1 lap, and then for the safety car rules to seem to change halfway through after making a decision which benefited only Max Verstappen, meant that he won the title. There was a lot of acrimony on the day, but now Mercedes appear to have dropped their appeal against it. I know Toto Wolff still feels bitter, and he feels that Hamilton's been let down by the rules, but yeah, I sort of feel the same way, to be honest with you. I'm not taking anything away from Verstappen, but he was, shall we say, very fortunate to pick the title up. But that's well done to him, and lucky for Hamilton, I guess. Mercedes won the Constructors' Championship, so that was a culmination of that season. In terms of Speedway, Steve Worrell, Bellevue captain, is actually signed for Wolves. He's joining them this season. There was a lot of rumour that he was going to do that. Bellevue still haven't announced the rest of their team yet. So there's it. Them and Wolves have still got a few riders to announce. It's been confirmed that the British final will be at Bellevue again. I can't remember the date, but it's been going to be held there. The conference finals, the championship final will be at Poole, riders final. And there'll be the return of the championship pairs. That's going to be Oxford, who are back in the championship, and that's going to be the night before the British Grand Prix at Cardiff. So there are things to look forward to next year if you want to plan ahead, Speedway fans. They're some of the main events in the calendar next year. So I think that's about all I want to cover this week. So just one other thing to remind you of, if you've not realised, that the 3rd Ashes Test starts on the 26th, Boxing Day, at the MCG. Although the way it's going, you might not want to watch it anyway, but let's hope they can get their act together and start putting some runs on the board when they start batting in a few minutes. So okay, I think that's it for me for now. So like I say, I've mentioned before, Merry Christmas everyone. Hope you all have a good one, and I may be back on New Year's Eve actually to try and round up the things we've missed in the 2 weeks in between. But until then, all the best, and I'll see you soon.